So, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team Samurai X1 here. As you guys already know, on Friday, I showcased you guys my budget freezing chains deck profile. Well, in today's video, I'm coming at you with the full power competitive ice cold ice barrier deck profile for you guys today. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Usually the word competitive and ice barriers don't, but now with the brand new support, the deck actually puts up some crazy negates. It can also hand loop. It can also hand loop 4 for 3.
Minimum 2, of course.
This deck is absolutely you guys don't have the budget for this deck profile. I'm telling you, this deck is relatively really cheap. You guys can actually check out the $30 budget deck profile in the link in the description box below if you guys are interested in that. For those of you here on the channel for the very first time, consider on hitting the subscribe button and make sure you guys turn on this. Turn on the notification bell to get notified each time I upload videos. They'll be absolutely amazing. And guys, don't forget to come here. Break up and cut elbow that thumbs up button for more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh videos, guys. And guys, man, we're almost at 400,000 subscribers, so if you guys can subscribe the living heck out of that subscribe button, that'll be absolutely amazing. Like the video, comment in the comment section below on what your favorite ice barrier card is. I just want to read your comments in the comment section below. And alright guys, don't waste any more of your time. Without further ado, let's get started with this brand new ice barrier deck profile for 2021. Full power, competitive, let's do it. Alright guys, start with the monster real quick. The best ice barrier monster in the deck is triple copies of Revealer of the Ice Barrier. This card is essentially like a Neo Fiber for the deck. You can discard a card to special summon Ice Barrier Tuner directly from the deck, which is absolutely insane. If this card is on the field while you control another Ice Barrier monster, your opponent cannot tribute summon. So this card is kind of like a mini floodgate while face up on the field, which is absolutely incredible. And its last effect reads that if you would discard or send a cards from your hand to the graveyard to activate an Ice Barrier monster effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead of one of those cards. So let's say you have one copy of Revealer of the Ice Barrier in the graveyard, and you're going to be normal summoning another copy of Revealer of the Ice Barrier. You can actually activate Revealer of the Ice Barrier without having to discard a card, because you can banish the Revealer that's in the graveyard instead to trigger off the Revealer that's already on the field, which is absolutely amazing. So the fact that you can just banish Revealer from the graveyard without having to discard a card to activate an Ice Barrier's monster's effect is just absolutely incredible. But this card right here is one of the best starter cards in the entire deck. You want to open up with this card 100,000% of the time, and it's one of the main combo facilitators of the entire deck. So you're going to play 3 copies of Revealer the Ice Barrier. She's absolutely phenomenal. Next, you're going to play, of course, triple copies of Speaker of the Ice Barrier. There's a 2-card combo. Well, 2.5 card combo if you open up with Revealer and also Speaker for the Ice Barriers. You can obviously see those 2 cards in the opening hand, and plus 1 discard can get you full combo, which is actually really good. What she does is that if you control an Ice Barrier monster, you can special summon this card from her hand. If you control herself an Ice Barrier monster, the defense position of monsters your opponent controls cannot change their battle positions, which is really great. But the most important effect about Speaker is that you're going to be able to special summon her from your hand while you control an Ice Barrier monster. Not only that, you can banish yourself from the graveyard to special summon an Ice Barrier token, Aqua, Water level 1, attack 0, defense 0. So it's basically 2 extenders built in one. Not only that, but it's also a level 4 monster, which helps you get access to rank 4 Xyz plays, which is really crucial for this deck. So you're going to maximize someone actually playing 3 copies of the best extender in the deck. Next off, you're going to play, of course, 2 copies of the brand new General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. What this card does is that spawn traps sent from the field to their opponent's graveyard are banished, so it's like kind of like a mini Macrocosmos, which is absolutely amazing. The only downside about this card is that your opponent needs to control a monster, and you have to control an Ice Barrier monster. Unlike Speaker, for the Ice Barrier, this card isn't as great as Speaker, but you can still special summon this card from your hand while going second, which is pretty good. And if this card is normal summon or special summon, you basically get to search an Ice Barrier spawn trap directly from your deck to your hand, which is absolutely amazing. So double copy of General Wayne. The most efficient way to actually get this card to your side of the field is probably using your Prior of the Ice Barrier's ability to special summon this card from your graveyard, or using cards like Sujin of the Ice Barrier to special summon this card from your hand, which is actually pretty good. So 2 copies of General Wayne of the Ice Barrier. This card gets you access to extenders, which is your spells for the Ice Barrier archetype. So double copies of Wayne. Next off, of course, one of the best tuners in the entire deck is double Hexa, Spirit of the Ice Barrier. This card is the ugly Princess Frog. It's cute but ugly. You guys know what I mean. So while you control the Ice Barrier monster point controls lose 500 attack and defense. During your main phase, you can send one level 3 or lower Ice Barrier monster from your deck to your graveyard. This card will become that level. So if you send a level 3, this card's level 3. If this card sends a level 2, this card will become a level 2. Nonetheless, it's a tuner monster that you can easily get access to with the Revealer of the Ice Barrier. So that way you get access to your Anemone or also your Crystron Haki Fiber Axe, which is really, really important. So double Hex Spirit, great Foolish Burial for the deck. Next, of course, double Prior of the Ice Barrier. Only 2 copies of this card is enough in my personal opinion. More oftentimes, to be completely honest, I never usually special summon this card from my hand using its effect because it has a very huge flaw when it comes to special summon this card. It reads that if you special summon it this way using this card's effect, you cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters turn you summon this card this way. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't get it. Like, they were so afraid to make Ice Barrier so broken that they actually had to make this card worse than it already is. You know what I mean? Like, this card would have been so good if you can still, you know, special summon level 5 or higher monsters. You know what I mean? Like, the most important effect is the secondary ability where you contribute this card to target an Ice Barrier monster in your graveyard and special summon it. That doesn't have a restriction. You can special summon any Ice Barrier monster from the graveyard. You can even special summon back your Ice Barrier Synchros, which is absolutely amazing. But the most important effect is the Monster Born ability to be able to special summon General Wayne from your graveyard, so that way that you can search your Ice Barrier spell or traps directly from your deck to your hand. So Prior of the Ice Barrier is very nice for that. Next off, this card is very important for this deck. Geomancer of the Ice Barrier. Honestly, I feel like I couldn't find this card anywhere, but I'm really glad that I have access to this. This card for this specific variation of the deck is super important, and I'll showcase you guys a 2-card Unbreakable Board combo where you loop your opponent for 3 and put up a bunch of negates, which is actually really, really good. So Geomancer is really important. This card is a Spellcaster Tuner Ice Barrier monster, which reads that discard 1 card and declare 1 attribute. That's all it matters. It's a water which discards 1 card. It doesn't matter if you call whatever attribute, it doesn't matter. The fact that you just get to discard a card and it's a water is very important. And it's also a tuner, which is insane. So Geomancer, mark my words, guys, this card is like the most important card in the deck to combo off, which is really good. Next, of course, 1 Defender of the Ice Barrier. You can bring this card off Haki Fiber Axe. It's a lingering effect while you control another face-up Ice Barrier monster. Monster opponent controls cannot declare an attack if their attack is greater than or equal to this card's defense. So basically, any monsters with 1600 or higher attack can attack while Defender of the Ice Barrier is on the field, which is absolutely insane. And last but not least, the 1 Suijin of the Ice Barrier. You usually dump this card to the graveyard using your Hex's ability, and you can basically target level 3 or higher water monster you control, reduce its level by exactly 2 to special summon this card to your side of the field, which is really good. Most importantly, this card is an extender, helps you get access to Merits Anemone, or also can potentially help you make Needle Fiber, which is actually really, really good. So Suijin the Ice Barrier is just really great. So that's pretty much it for your Ice Barrier engine. Let's get started with some of the craziest starters that this deck has. So of course, you're playing triple copies of Deep Sea Diva. This card is very important. If you do not open up with Revealer of the Ice Barrier, Deep Sea Diva is the card that you want to open up with. This card is insane. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon level 3 or lower Sea Serpent type monster from your deck. This card can also special summon Hexa, which is really, really good. So Diva is just amazing. It's like the best combo starter outside from Revealer of the Ice Barrier. She's just absolutely insane. So 3 copies of Diva is absolutely mandatory. You're also playing the 1 Atlantean Prince. Netabis, this card is so good, man. You don't understand. Like, you need to play the Atlanteans in this version when it comes to utilizing Ice Barrier to make this deck as competitive as possible. And you're also playing triple Atlantean Dragoons. Dragoons is so crazy. Like, discarding Dragoons of Revealer is just like FTK. Like, you're not gonna let your opponent play Yu-Gi-Oh! You're gonna hand loop for 3, put up 3 negates, you pretty much are gonna win the duel. Like, Atlantean Dragoons is insane. Opening up with Revealer, with Dragoons, it's game. And also, this is why Geomancer is important, because Geomancer helps you discard Dragoons to the graveyard to trigger off its ability, and also you gain so much pluses and resources by using Geomancer to discard Netabis. Come on, guys. Geomancer discard Netabis is pretty much a game, right? So this engine is really important, helps you get access to your single plays, which is really good, and it's like one of the best engines that you can play when it comes to Ice Barrier right here. So this engine is absolutely mandatory, in my opinion. With Atlantean Dragoons, you have to play Moonland Glacia. You're going to be summoning Moonland Glacia, loop your opponent for 2. And you're playing, of course, the 1 Lapis Dragon. This card is level 5 Sea Serpent Tuner with the effects that reads, if this card is added from your deck to your hand, you can reveal it, special summon this card. So you're going to be able to utilize this card's effect when you use Dragoons to add this card from your deck to your hand. So you use Dragoons, add this, special summon it, it's a tuner, help you get access to Needle Fiber, which is actually really good. So Moon Glacier and Lapis, it's really great with 2-card combo with Dragoons and Revealer. You're going to be able to access these 2 cards on the very first turn, which is ridiculous. And then last but not least, the 1 copy of Crystron Citri. To summarize this card's effect, you bring this card off Needle Fiber, and you're able to use Citri and like Revealer or Dragoons, especially from the graveyard, to make Power Injector, which is really important. So Crystron Citri is just really good for that to help you get access to synchro plays during your opponent's turn, which is really great. Get started with the spells, obviously very standard. Triple Medallion of the Ice Bear, it's like your e-call for the deck. Searches any Ice Bear directly from your deck to your hand. Next, you're playing triple copies of Freezing Chains of the Ice Bear. To summarize this card's effect, this card is a Monster Reborn for level 4 lore Ice Bear monsters. Kind of like a War Legacy's Guard Dragon, which is really good. And the last spell you're playing in the deck is double copies of Winds Over the Ice Bear. This card helps you unbrick, so it turns any Ice Bear monster into your Revealer, which is really good. So you can tribute any number of Ice Bear monsters you control, and then you special summon that many tributed with different names that are level 4 lore directly from the deck. Which is really amazing. And he has an amazing ability where, except to turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card to recycle your Ice Barrier monsters from your graveyard or banish zone to your hand, which is really, really good. So these spell cards are just absolutely insane for the deck. And alright guys, so on the spells, you can't forget about the god card himself, Call by the Grave. You want to ensure that all your combos goes through. So Call by the Grave is actually really, really important. Stop that Ash Revealer, GG no re. Call by the Grave wins you game. So once Crossout Designator comes out, you're going to be maximizing yourself on actually playing triple cross with the card in the deck. But this card is actually really, really important. Last but not least, for your hand traps, I believe these cards are like the most impactful cards in this format. Obviously, Triple Ash Blossom. This card can be replaced with any other hand traps. You guys can play the Beer or any other hand trap that may seem fit. But obviously, Ash is like the most generic hand trap for the deck. And last but not least, you're playing Triple Forbidden Droplet. I love this card. I feel like Calamity Turbo is just like everywhere. And Forbidden Droplet is just so good. In my personal opinion. So these 6 cards can be any other 6 cards you guys can play. It's all up to personal preference on whatever you guys have access to. But these 6 slots should be slots for your hand traps or your utility cards, which is really, really good. So that's pretty much it for the main deck. Let's go off to the extra deck real quick. For the extra deck for the XCs, of course, you're going to play 1 Totally Awesome and 1 Bahamut Shark. You're going to be utilizing Dragoon's effect like crazy, like Bahamut, Detached Dragoon, Search, like it's just ridiculous. And also, this deck plays around hand traps because Nibiru isn't a problem, because on the 5th summon, you're going to be summoning Totally Awesome, which is really amazing. The best Link monster in the extra deck, Haki Fibrax. This card is so good. You're going to be mostly playing on your opponent's turn, which is why Hulk is really important. And next, I'm playing double copies of Miranta's Anemone. I've been playtesting this deck a lot, and I don't know, like, I feel like when this deck pops off, it pops off, but I feel like sometimes you need a second copy of Hulk, and then sometimes I feel like you need a second copy of Anemone, so I can't really juggle between the two. It's either 2 Hulk or 1 Anemone, or 2 Anemone and 1 Hulk. All up to personal preference on what you guys want to play, but I felt like this ratio is just perfect enough. You guys can juggle between the two, but you know, at least like you got to play one of each 100,000%. Next off for your synchros, Crystron Quandax, really important. Shooting Riser Dragon, the most important one in the extra deck. Hands down, manipulates his levels, helps you quick sync on your opponent's turn to help get you access to your bigger synchro plays, which is really good. Next, you're going to be playing 1 Desert Locust. Once this card is synchro summoned, the turn player discards 1 card. So you're going to be using Haki Fibrax to summon this card on your opponent's turn, and then your opponent would have to discard a card, which is really good. And it also has a quick sync effect like Shooting Riser and also Crystron Quandax, which is really good. And there's a combo where you loop 3 guaranteed, which is ridiculous. So these are like the main tuner cards you're going to be summoning up. Hulk, okay, 1 Powered Insectron. You usually use Citri and like a level 4 to summon this, which is really good. 1 Borosword Savage Dragon. Card's amazing. Helps you provide additional negate. 1 Dragite. It's a water, and it's like a free spell trap negate. 1 Trishula, 0 Dragon the Ice Bear. This card banishes 3 on summon, does not target, and when it dies, it negates a monster effect and also half that monster's effect, does not target, and also special summons a Trishula from your graveyard extra deck, which is really good. Which I'm playing 1 copy of the Trishula Dragon the Ice Bear. This is like my favorite rarity for Trish. Look how beautiful this is. Beautiful. Beautiful Trishula. Come on, focus. There you go. Dual Terminal Trish. I don't know how much this is now, but like this card is just absolutely gorgeous. 1 Crystron Phoenix. Card's amazing. On summon, you basically banish all spawn traps your opponent controls in their graveyard. So against back row heavy decks, Crystron Phoenix is GG, man. This card is just absolutely insane. And there's a combo you guarantee bring out this card every single time. And next, 1 Crystron Quarry and Quandax. This card on summon is kind of like Trishula. It banishes 3 on summon, which is really good. and it's like one of the best interruption for this deck that you can play on your opponent's turn, which is amazing. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the main deck. I feel like the main deck is just absolutely perfect. Let's showcase you guys some cool combos you guys can do with this deck real quick. Alright guys, welcome to the combo segment of this video. So all you need is a Revealer of the Ice Barrier and Atlantean Dragoons. You basically open up with these two cards. You pretty much just win the duel right here. This is going to be one of the main combos that you want to focus on with this deck. You can also combo off with Revealer, Mako, which is Speaker, and also one discard. But I kind of want to showcase you guys the sheer full power combo when it comes to opening up with Revealer and Atlantean Dragoon. So these two card combo is just insane, and ever since the release of Revealer, this deck just got so much better in my opinion. Before we get started, make sure you guys get your brand new limited edition Battle of Legends playmat today in the link down below. Have this playmat available in premium cloth. So what are you guys waiting for? Get this playmat today at tx1.com. Let's begin. So first and foremost, you're gonna normal summon Revealer of the Ice Bear, activate Revealer's effect to ditch your Atlantean Dragoons to the graveyard, to special summon your Geomancer of the Ice Bear directly from the deck. This is why Geomancer is very important, alright? So now, Atlantean Dragoon, since it was sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, Dragoons will activate to search your Neptibus directly from your deck to your hand. And now you can activate Geomancer's effect to discard a card and declare an attribute. And this is why it's important, because it lets you discard a free card, which is really good. So since Neptibus was sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, Neptibus will get to activate its effect, especially your Atlantean Dragoons from your graveyard. So now using Dragoons and also Revealer, you're going to special summon your Bahamut Shark. And now you can activate Bahamut Shark's ability to detach your Dragoons to special summon your Totally Awesome from your extra deck. Since Dragoon was sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster effect, Dragoon will get a trigger off its effect once again. Dragoon will now get to search your Lapis Dragon directly from your deck to your hand. And once Lapis Dragon gets added to your hand, you get to reveal this to your opponent, special summon Lapis Dragon to your side of the field. Remember, Totally Awesome is your 5th summon, pretty much the Bureau proof at this point. Now what you're going to do, using Lapis Dragon and also Bahamut Shark, you're going to link away these two to link summon into your Marince's Anemone. This card has an amazing ability where you can target a water monster with 15 or less attack from your graveyard and special summon it to the zone this card points to. What's a monster with 15 or less attack in the graveyard? Neptibus. So you're going to be able to special summon Neptibus from your graveyard. And guys, you did not even use Neptibus' ability whatsoever. And now what you're going to do is that you're going to activate your Neptibus' ability. You are going to dump Dragoons to the graveyard to add Dragoons directly from your deck to your hand. Okay, and once this Dragoon gets sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, Dragoons will get its effect to search your Moon Glacia directly from your deck to your hand. And guess what now? How many waters in your grave? Let me count. Exactly 5 water monsters in your graveyard. So now what you're going to do is you're going to special summon your Moon Glacia, activate Moon Glacia's effect, discard 2 random cards in your opponent's hand. So now at this point, you have an idea on what your opponent's playing, alright? Let's say they're playing Eldritch. So let's say you discarded 2 traps, alright? This is the 2 traps that you discarded out of your opponent's hand to the graveyard. So at this point, you know your opponent is playing a trap deck. You know your opponent's playing a trap deck 100%. So now your combo is going to be a little bit different because you know that your opponent might just set 4 and pass, right? So you want to try to play around that, which is actually really, really important. So what can you do? So now what you're going to do is very important, is using your Marince's Coral Anemone and also your Geomancer. You're going to link these two away to the graveyard to special summon your Quishron Haki Fibrax. Once Haki Fibrax comes out, you can activate Haki Fibrax's ability to special summon your Quishron Citri directly from your deck. And this is going to be your end board, okay? It doesn't look like a good end board, but this is an end board just off 2 cards, and you're going to loop 2 cards on your opponent's hand. So now, your opponent's going to be starting off with 4 cards in hand instead of 6, and you know they're playing a trap deck, alright? So, now, during your opponent's turn, what are you going to do? Once your opponent sets the 1 back row, you're going to activate your Quishron Citri's ability, okay, to special summon your Atlantean Dragoons that's in the graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, you're going to banish these 2, okay, to synchro summon into your powered Insectron. On the resolution of the summon of powered Insectron, this card effect will trigger. Now you can activate your Haki Fireback's ability to banish this card to special summon your Desert Locust directly from your extra deck. So this resolves. Now Desert Locust will activate its ability to discard a card out of your opponent's hand. So now at this point they have 1 set card and you discarded a card out of your opponent's hand. So they have 2 cards that are in the graveyard, 1 card discarded. So 3 cards discarded, they have 1 set. That means they should have 2 cards left in hand. So you discard the card of Desert Locust. You can activate Desert Locust effect to quick sync using Desert Locust and also your Neptibus. Okay, you're still in the main phase, which is really, really good, to summon Shooting Riser Dragon. Okay, and now once Shooting Riser Dragon summon, you're gonna activate Shooting Riser's effect. Since you know they're playing a back row deck, you want to dump your Speaker for the Ice Barriers to the graveyard, okay? Since this card is a level 4 monster that was sent to the graveyard to utilize Shooting Riser Dragon effect, this card will now get its level reduced by 4, so now it's a level 3 tuner. Now, once this card's effect resolve, you're gonna be able to activate its quick sync ability to use Shooting Riser Dragon and also your Powered Insectron. 3 plus 6 is 9 to summon your Quistron Phoenix. Look at that. Summon your Quistron Phoenix. And at this point, once Phoenix comes out, what happens? You banish all spawn trap cards on the field and also your opponent's graveyard. And this is assuming that your opponent obviously is playing a back row deck. You're going to be able to banish basically everything they control. And in the following turn, remember guys, this is off only 2 cards. You still have like 3 other cards in your hand, plus the Dragoons. You're going to be drawing 1 card. If your opponent were to try to bait out your negates, what you can do is that you can actually activate Totally Awesome to negate whatever effect, and then use this card's ability to recycle back your Revealer of the Ice Barrier for next turn if you use your Totally Awesome negate, which is actually really, really awesome. Or if you don't want to go into Phoenix, what you can do is that since you have Shooting Riser and also Power Insectron, instead of dumping Speaker to the graveyard, you can actually dump General Wayne to the graveyard. So this card becomes a level 2, and you can use these 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. Synchro into these, into your Borosword Savage Dragon, and you can activate Boroswords to equip Anemone to Borosword, right? Which is really good. But nonetheless, you're still looping 3 cards out of your opponent's hand. If you know they're playing a combo deck, instead of going this route, you can obviously access to Quistron Quarry and Quandax right here, which banishes 3 cards. Your combo plays has to be a little bit different. Instead of special summon Citree directly from the deck off Needle Fiber, you're going to be special summoning your Defender. And then what you can do is that you can use Defender, Riser, and Neptibus to actually help you get access to Quistron, Quarry, and Quandax, which is actually really, really good. So it all depends on what deck you're playing against. If you're playing against a combo deck, you're going to be going to the Quarry and Quandax route. If you're playing against the back row deck, you're going to be going into the Quistron Phoenix route. But nonetheless, you're going to be knowing exactly what your opponent is playing, because you're going to be able to Mooling Glacier your opponent before you actually do anything, right? So Mooling Glacier is just a huge key, and Desert Locust helps you discard a card, and like, this is probably like the best negate ever. And the fact that Totally Awesome is able to recycle your Revealer for next turn while having Dragoons in hand, it's just absolutely insane, right? So if you're able to negate something Totally Awesome, it's just ridiculous. So that's pretty much it for some of the main combos you want to do with this deck. Speaker and Revealer and a discard will give you a similar board, but wouldn't get you access to Mooling Glacier, unfortunately. So this is why Dragoons is really important, because you get access to Mooling Glacier, and getting information from your opponent's hand is just absolutely crucial for this game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's pretty much for the combos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys give this video a huge thumbs up. It'll be absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy Sam from Team Sam signing out. Alright guys, peace.
Be sure to get your playmat today at tsx1.com.